Hey everyone, I don't know what's up with John and Josh today, so I feel like I need a cover for them with a little update on Week 12 and what's going on with this week's games. First game I want to mention, number 25, Boise State, going to New Mexico. I don't expect any problems here. I feel like the last time New Mexico beat Boise State was in 2015 in a surprise upset. Boise's 8-1 in this series. I don't expect anything out of New Mexico in this one. Boise should rebound, especially after a good momentum win last week. Number 10, OSU, Ohio State, is going to Maryland. This is an interesting matchup. Maryland is 5-5, and with a road trip next week for their last game to Happy Valley against Penn State, both these matchups are tough. And so they're kind of in a must-win to make bowl eligibility. The Maryland program's been through a lot with DJ Durkin firing him, they're bringing him back, and then fire him again. And so you got to remember in all this, it's a mess, but they're still players, and they still want to win, and they're fighting for bowl eligibility. With all that said, I think Ohio State takes care of business, but it's probably closer than most people think. Citadel, the mighty Citadel, traveling to Tuscaloosa. In the upset of the age, it's never going to happen. The only thing to say about this story is Tua going to play? I don't think he should play. I think they should rest him. They do not need him. And this is why I think this most of all, because the only way, in my opinion, Alabama misses the college football playoff, and it can happen, is if Tua gets hurt and if they lose to Georgia. Because if Tua gets hurt and there's no Jalen Hurts, a one-loss Alabama team, as great as they've been all season, I just don't see the committee putting in a Mac Jones-led quarterback into the college football playoff. I don't think that would be good for college football. So that's my only thing. I think Tua has got to stay healthy. So Bama rolls 100-0 against the Citadel, even without Tua. Syracuse, number 12, Syracuse, riding up to Notre Dame. You got number 12, Syracuse, number 3, Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium. This game is interesting, really interesting. Remember, Syracuse knocked off Clemson last year before Clemson made the playoff. You know what? I was going to wait till the end, and I'm going to say it right now. Syracuse knocks off Notre Dame. Why do I say that? Because Syracuse runs this hurry up to the max. I watched a game against Virginia Tech a couple years ago, and they just ran plays, the fastest spread I've ever seen. They just go, go, go. Eric Dungey's thrown for 2,000 yards. He's a phenomenal quarterback. I think that they take care of Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's shown some weaknesses by playing slow against certain teams. Ian Book, how good is he? How healthy is he right now? I think Syracuse catches up with Notre Dame and takes down the Mighty Irish in Yankee Stadium. Number 9, West Virginia, traveling on the road to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's 5-5, fighting for bowl eligibility. West Virginia with an amazing win last week. Hard for me to see. This one is tough. I think West Virginia should take care of business, but at the same time, Oklahoma State seems like a good team. They fought with Oklahoma. They seem to be able to play with anybody. I still like the Mountaineers. I think Will Greer's got some magic. This team's a solid team. They'll handle the challenge. Next game I think should be interesting. Missouri at 6-4, playing at Tennessee, who's 5-5. Tennessee's fighting for bowl eligibility, and this just looks like a good matchup. You've got Missouri with Drew Lock, who throw the ball everywhere. They've got a pretty good offense, versus Tennessee, a team that's, man, if you talk about one of the, nobody, who won't get the Coach of the Year job, but Jeremy Pruitt, great job at Tennessee. Remember how they were trying to get the coach from Ohio State, defensive coordinator, and then they didn't get him, and then it was kind of a mess, and then they hired Jeremy Pruitt away from Alabama, and he inherited a mess, and he has gotten this team to almost be bowl eligible. That is amazing. I like the Vols at home here, and what a story for Tennessee. Miami and Virginia Tech. Most thought this would be teams fighting for the Coastal Division champion to go play and maybe contend with Clemson. At the beginning of the year, this is a stinker. You've got 4-5 Virginia Tech at home versus 5-5 Miami. I like Virginia Tech, but I think Virginia Tech has played over 18 different starters on defense. They are a mess. The only way Tech wins this game is if they get into a shootout and their offense is better. I think their offense has the potential to be better, but I don't know if they can put it together. Home field, cold weather, maybe it comes together for the Hokies. If I'm a betting man, I take the Hurricanes. Duke is a solid team, just on the cusp of being bowl ranked, going to number 2 Clemson. This game is interesting because Duke is well coached. They've got decent players. Daniel Jones at quarterback is a big guy who can move and he can throw. I think this game stays closer, kind of like the Boston College game last week with Clemson, till the fourth quarter. Although Clemson being at home, this could be a runaway. But I think it'll be another solid challenge for Clemson. Duke is not a pushover. Number 16, Iowa State, going on the road to number 15, Texas. I pull the mini upset, the one ranking upset. I like Iowa State in this game. I think Texas has gotten a lot better, but you got to remember Iowa State beat number 25 at the time, Oklahoma State. Then they beat number 6 West Virginia. They're tested, and I don't know. I feel like Texas might be reeling a little bit. So I like Iowa State in a toss-up game there. And for the primetime game, the late night game, where game day has been sitting all day for the last couple days. Number 24, Cincinnati, going on the road to number 11, UCF. I'll be honest, when I was on campus, my junior and senior year at UCF, we had to drive. My junior year, we had to drive into downtown Orlando, pay tolls to go to watch a game in the Citrus Bowl. That's not really an environment you'd expect for a team to one day host College Game Day. Well, fast forward 10 years, 11 years, and UCF's now hosting College Game Day. This is a great moment for college football to see a program that really, had a winless season under George O'Leary back in 2003, I want to say, or 2002, to come back, have another losing season, an 0-11 season, not too many years later, 3 years ago, to now be on this almost 2-year winning streak. That's incredible. I know there's a lot of haters of UCF because of their athletic director, Danny White, and as well as just their self-promotion, but for college football, the pageantry, the fun, you have to be excited about what's happening at UCF. UCF is the new Boise State. Boise State used to represent all those small teams. And so you got to think that UCF, this is great for college football to have a non-Power 5 team get College Game Day to come to their host. So, but with that said, this has got a game to play. UCF has got to show up. Luke Fickell, though, at Cincinnati, he was a former defensive coordinator at Ohio State. Solid coach. He's really done an amazing job in his first year there. They're 9-1. They're playing solid on both sides of the ball. The quarterback's running for 1,900 yards, running back over 1,000 yards already. This is a very good football team. Remember, they beat UCLA week 1. Mind you, we didn't know that UCLA was going to stink under Chip Kelly, but that's still traveling all the way across the country and beating UCLA in week 1. Then the next week going to Maryland, a team that had just come off a fresh win over Texas, and beating Maryland. So this team has played out of conference, played Power 5 teams, and beaten them. And so their only loss was a 7-point loss to Temple, a tough Temple team that gave UCF everything they could handle. On paper, I think Cincinnati looks like they could pull the upset, but I think UCF, the environment at home, I think UCF will get it done. I think this is a typical scenario where a team gets overinflated, thinks they're better than they are, but UCF has this chip on their shoulder. They feel like nobody's giving them credit, although I think they're getting a lot of credit and a lot of publicity. But when you have that, I think it motivates a team, and I think McKenzie Milton is just dynamic, and I feel like he's going to make plays. He's already said that they're better than Notre Dame. So I just think UCF at home in this environment, they don't want to wet themselves on a big stage. I expect UCF to win a good game, pull away late, have maybe a little bit too much firepower. McCray running the ball strong. Adrian Killen's just fast. I see UCF offense taking off and maybe even making a statement to the college football world based on this game. And my upset of the week, Liberty at Auburn? Could it happen? No, it won't happen. Liberty, I gave you that chance with UVA, and you didn't do anything with it. I don't expect it this week, but I do think my one upset of the week that could happen, Arkansas on the road to Mississippi State. Mississippi State is playing dynamic defense. Watch the game against Alabama. They're dynamic. But they got beat up, man. Alabama's tough. Arkansas scored the most points against Alabama. Arkansas can score some, even against, I think, this defense. I would see this game close, and Arkansas maybe getting a surprise upset over Mississippi State. All right, thanks, everyone. See you next week.